Otto Ramstad and Bieringa are together the Body Cartography, and for the past several years they've been studying the social and scientific histories of nuclear power and nuclear energy and how that has played into the relationship between the United States and Japan and Olive's home country of New Zealand. Let's drop into a rehearsal of Half-Life at the Southern Theatre and talk with the two about how they've blended art and science on this edition of 3 Minute Egg.
I think the seeds of the project really came from us, from the work that we were doing in different military fortifications on the west coast of the United States and also in New Zealand. Primarily site-specific work in these beautiful abandoned, former sites that had been built to protect the Western world from Japan. During the Second World War, we were kind of compelled to try and understand not just what they were to us as sort of a physical resource or a visual space, but really kind of engaging in the sort of cultural and historical, the history of these spaces. It raised the question of what were the equivalent kind of spaces that had or still existed in Japan, and would it be possible to make a piece that linked Japan, New Zealand, and the USA. So it was really challenging to try and find a space in Japan that would do justice to the idea, and so we kind of shifted our idea into really making a work for the theatre instead that would work with this meta site, this kind of site of the whole Pacific Ocean. The piece is not about blame and revenge, but it's really engaging in sort of the complexities and the excitement of nuclear physics and the excitement of this creation, but also kind of the larger issues for what that means to us as human beings and to be, people.
We were teaching a workshop at the University of Minnesota for the Institute of Advanced Studies, and we were working with Bryce, the physicist, and he was giving us a lecture on fission, nuclear fission. And it is really about movement interactions. I mean, he's talking about why fission happens naturally in the environment, as if you have an atom and it's got an equal number of protons and neutrons, and the protons don't want to go together, they want to stay apart, and the neutrons are neutral charge, so they move around, and the protons are trying to keep an equidistant away, and the neutrons are responding to them until they create an environment that it's favorable for them to split, and then they form two other atoms. And so
that's a very beautiful pattern.
To make the piece, I also had to stop doing the research at a certain point. I just had a point when I just stop more information, just start working with making a dance, and recognize that what I make is my response, and therefore it is the piece.